I know what you're thinking. Chaz, I thought you did the Monday morning memories down the bar. I usually do. If I'm being honest, I'm hoping this is the only one I do down here. Because this one's going to hit a little different, you know? Um, we're not just talking about a car. We're talking about somebody that, is a huge reason that I have all this stuff, this shop, and this channel. On this week's Monday Morning Memory, we're going to be remembering my cousin Sal. You know, I thought inside the shop was the best place to start this video. And then I got to thinking and realized right here is. Because everything that's behind me is what Sal loved. You know, he obviously he had a beautiful Model A that we featured on the channel. A couple years ago, actually, I told you about the whole experience of my old man taking me to his shop, and kind of what sparked all of my interest in cars. This right here is my favorite part of the shop, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense because it kind of looks like something out of the movie A Christmas Story, and they're sitting out here in the snow. That doesn't mean that this is my favorite stuff back here. I'm gonna flip you guys around, show you the cars here, and just talk about where I'm coming from. So this is obviously the oldest cars we got here. My 53 Pontiac Chieftain. We got Jimbo's 46 Plymouth back there, and my two 1948 Ford pickups. The first one was a F7. That was a fire truck back in the day. And the other one I think was an F1. I'm not really sure. I do have a title on the chopped one here. The other one's just, it's so far gone that it's not even a floor or nothing. It's just there. Mainly for the roof to finish the chop, which Sal told me how to do. Think between his expertise and Gene Winfield's expertise, this truck is gonna be bad. So why are they sitting out here in the snow? You know, I think that's a topic for another video, but just wanted to show you guys these and kind of let you know where I'm at, kind of where my head's at, if that makes any sense. Hanging out of the cold, guys. It's getting dark and cold out there, but I want to show you that and let you know where I'm at, because the reason my head is there is because, like I said, that's where Sal was. That was his era, right? So a little background on him, and then I'll come back to that. My Sal was my dad's cousin, right? So generation before me. They grew up together, and they were in the cars before they were even allowed to drive them. You know, just like most of us. And they built a bunch of stuff together. In fact, the rear end in the hot rod is out of my father's like 65 Galaxy or something like that. I know it has 513s in it, and he had some meats on the back. And when my dad wrecked that car or blew it up or whatever he did, Sal took the rear end from it. So, and they were always, you know, back and forth with stuff, and just and then when it came time, you know, you got to pay the bills, right? Most of us go off and find a 9-to-5 or some kind of career. And Sal went with the thing of, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Opened a shop, did it his whole life, built some amazing cars for himself, for his brother Freddie, for helped my dad with stuff, my Uncle Pete, everybody. Like they were all into cars. Now, Sal was the top of the pyramid because you couldn't match his knowledge, I mean, he just had like magic hands, you know, to get in there and do whatever he wanted to do. For example, I was talking to Uncle Pete just a couple of days ago, and you guys know him. He's got the '65 Mustang, so car guy, right? He said he was a kid, and Sal came to pick him up in the hot rod. Like he took him for a ride, whatever, and he had just put a new steering box on it, but it wasn't the right one, right? Like whatever he had, I think it was a Chevy. It didn't go with whatever. Either way, he had it. He's like, we'll make it work. Now, nobody else was driving this car but him, because Uncle Pete said when he went, it was because he had it mounted in upside down and backwards or whatever. Whenever he turned the wheel, if he turned the wheel right, he went left, and vice versa. So everything was backwards, and he didn't care because he was driving his car, and he made it work. That's something I couldn't even fathom, right? So, I mean, just at a whole nother level, right? And then, like, a couple years back, 20 years back, I bought my dad a 1935 Pontiac, right? It was like a birthday, Father's Day gift combined thing. He never saw it coming. We showed up at his house with it, and he was good and blue, right? Well, shortly after, we had a party at the house, and Sal come up. He saw it, and he starts just rattling things off. Guys, this car was a shell, right? I'll have the kid put it was a shell. Sal looked at it. It's like, 35 silver streaks. Yeah, you can tell because that had the suicide doors, factory. This had this had that. Boom. I was like, oh, I mean, I can tell a car. I can't tell that car. I can't tell you. Those back there, that's the man. He knew it, right? But he wasn't like in your face about it, like, hey, I know all this stuff. In fact, he was so humble, right? Like, he started watching the channel, and we started chatting on Facebook and stuff. And he says, hey, if you ever need some help with some older car stuff, I'm here. He's like, not that I'm any kind of expert. Are you serious, dude? Right? I put him in a category. You guys know I went out a couple years ago to Gene Winfield's metalworking class, and I put Sal right there with Gene, because now Gene was famous and an amazing guy, right? We all know that. The only difference is Sal wasn't famous. He was locally, everybody knew, but like he just like I said, he was humble. He just wanted to help, you know. Like even the cars, like I said, the cars outside were like what he dug. But he would even like hit me up if he saw I was doing something that wasn't right, or maybe I'd getting, taking a beat and working on something. Even on this newer stuff, he'd be like, hey man, try this, hey, try that. And of course it worked, right? But it was amazing to me that like he just kept reaching out, and like when then we started going back and forth, and like it's guys, I'm gonna level with you here. I'm going to have a hard time getting some stuff done. So, I mean, 64 Bel Air, the kid's car. He dug that when I picked it up. He's like, oh, you got one right there, buddy. That's good. That's good. So we were chatting of how I wanted to set it up. And I think this was even before I put it on a channel. We just, hey, look what I picked up, and we're talking about it. And he's like, I said, oh, man, I kind of want a big block in. I want to do a W motor, like a 348 or 409 or something. He's like, they were flops. He's like, they look cool, but they were you put a 320. If you don't put a 327 in that, what are you even doing, right? Like that's what you need. And guys, it's sitting right here behind me, 327, built just the way. I mean, a little bit better than I would have built them back then. But like, if you look at that thing, now it's got Petronics in it, and it's a roller motor, because we had some issues, but you look at that thing, like a stock 327, and he thought that was super cool that I took his advice. Why wouldn't I take his advice? the resume on him is incredible. Why would I not? And it's just it's nuts. It's I was really hoping that that I would have that car done, and I could send him a picture, or even drive it up to Brooklyn and be like, hey, cuz, check it out. I can't, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to think of everything he told me as we're working on that car, because that's what we do. You pass this stuff down, you know, and that's how you build, like you bond over this stuff. It's just the cars are there, and I've seen this on something. And Sal actually said the same thing. Is like, you know, most of these cars, you keep them for a little while, they go. You keep them for a little while, they go, and you're just like a caretaker for the car, right? But you got that car, and I mean, how many guys I met, friends I made and stuff, that GTO I had, or that Caddy I had, or whatever, and I never would have met these people or you know, made those bonds and friendships if I didn't have them, if I had that car at that time. So it's like, I don't know, you know, it's just yeah, it's I don't know. I'm trying to find the words here, guys, because it's deeper than just, hey, I got a badass car and this is a motor, this is this, this is that. For me, it's not just look what I got. It's look what I built. That's what means more. Like, and this is why I say, when people say there's a caretaker, I believe that, with the exception of somebody like Sal. Sal pulled that Model A out of a field in Pennsylvania when he was 15 years old. He built that thing. It was a shell, which is another reason he likes everything on the side. It's just shells of cars out there right now. Everything he did on that car, he did. From his brain to his hands to done. He changed it over the years. It had a big block. It had a small block. Headlights and taillights and the little kind of stuff. It was always blue. Everything he owned was always blue. But he did that because it was his rolling business card. You know, like, hey, this is what I built. Bring it to my shop. I'll hook you up, you know. So that's why I say he wasn't just a caretaker of that car. That car will forever be his. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. But yeah, it's, I don't know, guys. Man, trying to find the words here, guys. I really am. It's just crazy. I grew up, guys. Sal was the coolest dude. Like growing up, I remember I like not just his cars and his shop, it's just his whole persona. Is that the right word? Just like he was laid back. He had a pet monkey, bro. Who else has a pet? I mean, other than BJ and the bear. Well, I guess in that time frame, that was kind of a thing, you know. Right Turn Clyde, you know, and all that. But Dino was dope, and you know, I was like, here was my, you know, my cousin who, like I said, had a pet monkey, had the coolest job ever, had the coolest car ever, just was chill, you know, and willing to help people. So I mean, I grew up, guys. I couldn't. You ask any of my friends, junior high, high school, whatever. When we started talking about cars, Sal's name came up. Probably to the point where they're like, dude, we get it. Your cousin's cool. We don't care. You know? But it's just, and I was talking to my Uncle Pete. He said the same thing. Yeah, we used to brag about just knowing him, you know? And it's just, I don't understand, guys. It's part of life. You got to wrap your head around it. But there was something I learned a little while ago. A friend of mine, Pat, he retired from the Navy, and at his ceremony, he kept saying he didn't want to wait for people to be gone to give them their flowers. You know, the saying, to give them the flowers. You know, to let them know how much they mean to you and how they've inspired you and all that kind of stuff. And so as he's saying his speech there, he's including people, and he had like ushers giving people flowers, you know, a single flower. And I thought that was really good. And it made me think that yeah, you know, everybody waits until it's too late to tell them, right? Where they're saying, I wish they were here so I could tell them. So I'm just so glad that that I made that video a couple years back, and it inspired him a little bit, and you know, we talked about it, and it kind of made us grow a little closer, right? Like he didn't realize it. The same, like I was just saying, my Uncle Buddy didn't realize that either, that he inspired me, right? And I'm glad I was able to do that video, guys. It was just, but like with Sal, it was. I mean, obviously he knew I was in the cars. I knew he was in the cars. I mean, he should have known, right? That he inspired me. He's older than me, and I watched everything he did and just admired it. But people don't know, so you got to let them know, right? After I made that video, I had gone out to Gene Winfield's, and when I put that video up, he hits me up. He's like, dude, I didn't know you were in all that stuff. And that's when we started talking, and he was, they had that Lead East show, which is still going on now. It moves around a little bit, but he was huge in that, right? And he had his hot rod there. He was all in the hot rods and customs, like the you know, wasn't much of like a drag race guy or muscle car guy. That's what he loved. Like I'm not a big muscle car guy. I'm not a drag race guy either. It's, you know, we had real similar taste. They said when he was at Lead East, the car was there, and he was hanging out. What was it? The car club, the Brooklyn Knights, right? He was another thing. Like, well, man, he loved. I mean, if you have a car like that, you want everybody to know it's your car. And I always say, you know, oh, I don't want nobody to remember my license plate. If I'm driving that car, I want to know it's mine. So he had a plate with his shop on it. That just makes sense, right? It's there's so many little things, you know, that you don't think about, and I'm gonna miss him. You know, I'm gonna miss being able to just hit him up and, hey, I'm trying to figure this out, or hey, what do you think about, or just tell him what's up, you know. So if you guys take anything from this, Pat was onto something, man. Give people their flowers while they're still here to get them. It helps with regret, you know. I think he knew everything that I felt about him. So if not, it was close, you know. But well, I miss you, Sal.